Commissioner, welcome back here.
Good to be with you.
Let's start with politics. You drew a primary opponent, not just anyone. A former donor of yours, Nate Sheets, has decided to run against you. Why do you think he wants to challenge you?
You know, I really don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's not really an ag guy. He doesn't have an ag background. He's kind of a one-trick pony. He's a honey distributor, and that's about his only connection to agriculture.
How concerned are you about this? Because he says he's going to be able to raise the money. He also says, this is his quote, he says there's been far too many distractions that have been happening in agriculture that really tears down the things that we need to go accomplish, and said that you have had a lot of ethics issues. What's your reaction to that?
Well, typical, and you know, this happens at every election. This is nothing new, but you know, if you can't beat a guy on your own merits, you have to attack him and try to bring, you know, tear the guy down. So that's his tactics, is, you know, talk ugly and nasty and try to convince people that I'm an evil guy. But people that know me know that we've got the best agriculture department in the United States. We're you know, leaders in many fields: agriculture, exports, cattle, cotton, wool, mohair, horses, sheep, goats. The list goes on and on and on. And it's because of our aggressive marketing program at the department.
I want to ask one more thing he said too. He said there's been more than 130 people leave the Texas Department of Agriculture since March. He said that either been fired or have left. Is that the case?
That's not true. I don't know where he got those numbers, but I went back and looked at that. Texas Department of Agriculture, we have less turnover than just about any state agency. Our people love the Department of Agriculture. They stay. The governor's office has over 20% turnover. Ours is less than 14%. I think state average is like 16 or 18%. So we're doing good in that department. I don't know where those numbers came from, but I can think of maybe 2 people that have been fired. Most of them are retirements. Of course, there's nowhere near 130. But we have about, you know, 5 to 8 people a month turnover, something like that.
Let's talk beef prices.
Sure.
Consumers want to have, you know, lower beef prices, and when I go out barbecue, I don't want to pay, you know, $20 a plate for barbecue. But ranchers need stable margins as well. Are there policy levers that you can pull at the TDA to help both sides?
Well, we certainly gave the Trump administration. I reached out, sent some suggestions at Susie Wiles and Stephen Miller.
Sure.
They've contacted me. We've had those discussions. What we need to do is rebuild the beef herd. That's the problem. Importing beef in boxes doesn't rebuild the beef herd. It actually adds to our agricultural trade deficit.
But rebuilding the beef herd takes years. That's not something done overnight.
It does take some time. So one of the things I suggested during the Biden administration, because of his climate focus and war on greenhouse gases, they canceled all the grazing contracts on federal land, and we had to slaughter those cattle. It was a drought. We didn't have a place to go with them. So I suggested that we open up our federal grazing lands again. Now, Secretary Burgum at the Interior has already announced we're going to open up 5 million acres to ranchers for grazing. So now we have a place to put our cows in time of drought, a place to put heifers that we can retain to make mother cows out of. So that's good. I also suggested maybe a tax credit for ranchers to retain heifers and build the herd.
How long will it take to rebuild the herd, at least here in this state alone?
Well, you know, we got the egg prices down almost overnight, but a hen lays an egg a day, so she can have over 300 chicks a year. A cow has 1, so it does take a lot longer. So it's going to take 3 years to rebuild the herd. But we have to give these ranchers an incentive to keep heifers back. When they're bringing good prices, like now, and we've been through such hard times, you know, we need to sell those animals to pay the bills, make the mortgage, and you know, get caught up. So that's why I suggested a tax credit for heifer retention. Some of these cow-calf producers, they've been making a little money. They could use a tax credit. We do that with humans. I mean, you have a child tax credit. If you have a child 17 or younger, you can get $1,000 right off your income tax. So we could do something similar to that. Maybe not $1,000, but you know, $200 or $300, $400 to retain heifers and rebuild the herd.
What happened with that? Are they considering that still at the White House? Or
well, they haven't said no, but
okay.
Like I said, they did take my suggestion about opening up federal grazing land.
Yeah.
So we're making some headway.
And then people have seen the headlines about Argentina Is that a good idea or a bad idea? Because I'm thinking if more beef comes in, then my prices for ground beef are going to be a lot lower at Kroger when I go shopping.
Well, two things, and this is one time, the only time I've ever disagreed with Donald Trump. It makes our agriculture trade deficit worse. If we're buying more food from foreign entities, and we need to raise that ourselves. That's America First policies: grow it here, manufacture it here. So we need to grow that beef here. It does nothing to do that. And secondly, it makes our ag trade deficit increase instead of bringing it down. We're working real hard in my department on marketing ag products. We want to be a net exporter of ag goods, not a net importer.
You and I have talked about tariffs before, but the Trump administration now proposing $12 billion in farm aid for farmers because of the tariffs that are out there. You and I have talked about this before. You've always said, listen, farmers don't want handouts, they want stable markets.
Right.
In hindsight now, Commissioner, are these tariffs a bad idea?
Oh, this is the best thing ever happened to farmers. It's a mirror image.
How so? They have nobody to sell their products to.
Well, it's a mirror image of what happened in the first Trump administration. He put in high tariffs. We had trouble selling our soybeans. China cut us off. It brought China to the table. We got China to the table again. All these other Asian countries, they've just agreed to buy our soybeans again. So we're seeing commodity prices go up. At the end of the first administration, our farmers made more money than they'd ever made. We're just at the breaking point, the turning point, where we're going to break over and enjoy those good commodity prices again. So it's working exactly as planned.
But at the end of the day, it's costing taxpayers billions of dollars in handouts, essentially, to get this done, though, isn't it?
No, not really. That money is coming from the tariffs. It's coming from China. It's China's money that's going to those farmers. He's using China's own tariff money to prop those farmers up, not the consumers' money.
Let's talk about Go Texan. It's the program that promotes Texas-made products, Texas-grown products as well, too. It's seen tremendous growth here in the past few years. Can you tell us more about that? What's driving those record-breaking sales? Well,
we've actually had a 20% growth just this year. When I took over, we had about 200 members in that. We're over 2,000 now, tenfold. We've increased our champion membership. We have people like HEB members, Whataburger, McDonald's. All those people see the value of being a Texas company, and they love the Go Texan program. We have our own TV show now, Texas Our Texas. Bob and Kelly Phillips are helping us with that from Texas Country Reporter. We just wrapped up our Go Texan Festival at Waxahachie, the largest one-day festival in Texas. Of course, the state fair, we're big there, but we're big also at the Fort Worth, San Antonio, Houston, Austin livestock shows. So it's a tremendous opportunity for a Texas company to market their products, and it's really taking off.
This year alone, you were saying too, before we started recording this, that you have ambassadors essentially going to a number of countries that they hadn't been to before.
Well, when I came on board, we had no international marketing. It was just locally,
to take Texas products
grown,
overseas.
And so first thing we did, we took it national, and that was easy. And then we took it abroad. So my staff will be in 45 countries this year marketing Texas agriculture products. Well, not just agriculture products, anything Texas. If it's made in Texas or manufactured in Texas or grown in Texas, we promote it. So that's how we get that agriculture trade deficit down, is getting out and getting new customers. Not getting China to buy our product, but getting the rest of the world to buy our product and spreading our risk out.
Critics have said, listen, we need to make sure that the Go Texan program is not just for the big companies, but that it includes the small ones too. Are there guardrails to make sure small ranchers, small businesses in Texas get a chunk of this?
Well, the bulk of our members, probably 80 or 90%, are small entrepreneurs, mom and pops, startup companies. They will come in, they make a great product, maybe beef jerky or jam, but they don't know how to sell it. So they partner with us. We come in, we photograph it for them. We set them up a web page. We help them get into HEB or Kroger's, sell it on Amazon. We have a preferred export program. If you want to export your product, we'll get it exported. So walk you through that. Our preferred company is McLean Global out of Houston. They're our export company.
Export, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Let's talk about the federal hemp ban here. What's it going to do to this industry you tried so hard to protect?
Well, I tell you what, it's going to give uniformity. I guess something positive out of that is uniformity. It'll be the same across every state. We won't have this patchwork, Colorado, Texas, Oregon, something different every state. And it gets those dangerous products off the market, the synthetics, which our hemp laws did not address. Under Texas law, still today, a kid could buy THC laced gummies and take them to junior high and pass them out. It wasn't against the law. So that's what Dan Patrick's bill addressed. Of course, the governor vetoed that. Came back this last session, didn't get anything done. But this federal ban clears all of that up. So now I will say this: it doesn't take effect for 12 months.
Yeah.
So within that 12 months, you can expect to see a push by the THC hemp industry to make adjustments, make allowances. So that's yet to be seen how that all turns out.
And clear this up for me, because when I was reading it, I saw that nothing over 0.4, 0.3 is in the federal ban, right?
Right.
That's what Texas was, wasn't it?
That's what we are.
Yeah.
When hemp leaves the farm, and I regulate it until it leaves the farm. There's no hemp leaves that farm unless it's 0.3 or less THC.
Right. And the federal bans is the same numbers as what Texas already had, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. Hemp, the economic impact from hemp in this state's more than $10 billion, I was reading. Does the new federal hemp ban, will it dent that at all? Is the Texas hemp industry in trouble at all because of this hemp ban?
Well, those are old numbers. It's nowhere near that. We're just not growing that much CBD hemp anymore. We went from 1,600 permits to less than 400. The hemp production in Texas is switching from the CBD oil to fiber. We have farmers that are growing lots and lots of hemp acres, but it's fiber. It's not used for THC production. Yeah. It's used to make fabrics and rope and building products and things like that. And it's growing leaps and bounds, and that's where the hemp is going for farmers.
But will the ban impact any of that? I mean, it doesn't sound like it will at all.
Will not
okay.
Nothing. Won't touch the industrial hemp.
You said that the permits that your office is issuing is gone from 1,600 down to 400?
Yes, sir.
What happened to everybody?
No profit. Typical farmer. They saw huge profits. Everybody planted the world level with it. We've got enough hemp in storage to last us probably 10 years. The whole United States.
In Texas?
For the United States.
Okay.
For the whole United States, we need about 2,500 acres to supply the whole United States for hemp oil. In Texas, we planted over 5,000 just ourselves. So we way too much of it.
Wow. And just one more question about the hemp ban here. I mean, we saw the battle that unfolded here in this state, with Lieutenant Governor against the governor on what they thought the best avenue was there. Now the federal government has stepped in. Did it surprise you that the feds decided to step in and address this on a national level?
Well, a little bit, but not completely, because it was so sporadic from state to state and unruly. We needed some kind of uniformity across the board.
Yeah, and the some people are saying, listen, the federal government is out of touch on this issue. There's a push to get, to allow more than that, even in this state, even by Republicans, to allow more THC than that. I think you and I have discussed this before. Is the federal government out of touch on this issue?
I don't think so. And keep in mind, they gave it a year before it takes effect. So within that year, there'll be lobbyists, there'll be, meetings made, there'll be bills filed to make adjustments to it. What's going to happen, I can't predict, but we'll see. But there will be an attempt to soften the current situation.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Whether they'll be successful or not, I don't know. We'll see.
Commissioner, it's good to see you again. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir.